All right, Duke fans, you got to forgive me for stating the obvious, but I'm just going to do it. Cooper Flagg is so important to what Duke wants to do this season, and in particular, pick up a win on Friday night against Arizona. Hot take, I know, but we need a whole lot of Cooper Flagg.
You are Locked On Blue Devils, your daily podcast on the Duke Blue Devils. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, everybody, and welcome on into another episode of the Locked On Blue Devils podcast. My name is JJ Jackson. So excited to have you here with us on today's show. Super fired up for everything that we're going to be talking about throughout the course of today's program as Duke gets set for a big-time game against Arizona. Our show today is, of course, brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel. You can start the season with a big return on FanDuel. New customers can place a $5 bet, and you'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win that $5 bet. Just go ahead and check out FanDuel.com. For Duke basketball, they take on Arizona on Friday, and Cooper Flagg is so paramount to what this Duke basketball team wants to do throughout the course of the season. So who better to have that conversation with than our good buddy Brian Horace at Duke Blogger, making his long-awaited return to the program here today. If you have not done so already, please make sure that you subscribe to our Locked On Blue Devils podcast feed, wherever it is that you listen to your podcast. Leave us a 5-star rating and written review. Watch us each and every day on YouTube. You can like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Just really appreciate all the support that we get here with Locked On Blue Devils. As we talk about Cooper Flagg and what he's able to do for this Duke team this season, he has been named the ACC Rookie of the Week for the first time in what is set to be probably many times, fresh off a couple of really big performances against Kentucky. And then he did a little bit of everything against Wofford, and he's part of the big reason why Duke will be successful against the Arizona Wildcats and throughout the course of the season. As Brian Horace now joins us on the program here. Good to see you once again, my friend. And I do think we have to start there with Duke's best player. I mean, it's been really good to see him taking really no time at all getting adjusted to this college game. Yeah,
he's as advertised. I mean, he's a guy that, fills the stat sheet. Every column he's going to impact the game, and he doesn't seem to be having much trouble, becoming the star that we all thought he would be.
Everybody's watching him in that Kentucky game. He has the most points in the game with 26. He had the most rebounds in the game with 11. That goes for either team. And then how does he follow up against Wofford? Well, he does a little bit of everything with 8 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 steals, 2 block shots. We knew he would make an impact on the defensive end of the floor, and having the ball in his hands a whole lot, watching him set his teammates up and seeing the other guys knock down those outside shots for Duke. I mean, that's just such a dynamic element that's been added to the Duke roster.
Oh, 100%. And he's, as Coach Shire said, he's a guy that's going to make generally the right play. He's not necessarily looking to be the man or the scorer. He's always looking to make the play that's going to make the team, more successful. And it's kind of what you want.
First time that he's named the ACC Rookie of the Week. I was reading over on your website earlier, Brian, about the honor for Cooper Flagg. And you pointed out over the last 11 seasons, that's since the start of 2013-2014, Duke has had an ACC Rookie of the Week in 87 of a possible 188 weeks. 26 different Blue Devils have won the award. But to do quick math for our friends listening or watching to us, that's 46% of the time over the last 11 seasons, Duke has had the ACC Rookie of the Week. If you're one of the top players in basketball, this is just another kind of swaying point maybe and reasons why, Duke is the right place for you to go and play ball. And man, aren't we glad we've got Cooper Flagg on our squad this year. Con Knipple has already won the ACC Rookie of the Week award. Common Malawatch probably wants to get in on it at some point. So much.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, it's one thing Duke is known for is impact freshmen, and they're going to continue to, bring in guys on that level and put them in positions to succeed. And that's why you go to Duke.
You do go to Duke for those reasons alone. So with Cooper Flagg getting set to play against Arizona once again, Friday night, 10:30 p.m. Eastern time. So many people I would imagine are going to be watching this one on the East Coast. If you're staying up late going into the weekend, it's just a big test. This series between Duke and Arizona has been back and forth over the last several years that it's been played out. Arizona, however, has won the last 3 meetings. Duke's last win against the Wildcats was in the 2001 NCAA title game. Feels like we need to get back right against the Wildcats, Brian. What do you think it's going to take to get that done?
Yeah, it's going to take a lot. It's going to take defending the perimeter most notably. That's something that Duke has struggled with a little bit in the last couple of games. Against Kentucky, they gave up, quite a few open shots, and honestly, they gave up some open shots against Army. They gave up some open shots in the last game as well. So I think the miscommunication amongst the guards is what they need to sort of tighten up. And Shire mentioned that, and also when I talked to Khan after the last game, he also mentioned that was the one thing that they need to improve on. Even in the beating that they gave Wofford, he was still focused on that one little thing that they got to fix. And so I expect a different result against Arizona this time.
Which we really like that. I mean, when you're looking for things to critique in a 51-point victory in a game in which you set the fewest points allowed in the shot clock era for Duke basketball, that's a good problem to have when you're looking for those things. Wofford goes 15% shooting from 3-point range. And one of the bigger things for me, Brian, you got to see it firsthand, is yes, there are a good number of open looks. And yes, there are ways to improve on not letting the shots be that open. But what Duke has to their advantage this season is being America's tallest team. And when you feel like you've got an open look, within seconds, a hand is kind of in your face contesting that shot. And that's got to get into the mind of shooters, I would believe. We saw that against Wofford and hopefully against Arizona on Friday night and in the games to come. Number 1, Kansas, due up next week for Duke. Hopefully that length and size can continue to show up, because that's something I don't think that gets talked about enough. Yes, it's not a block shot, but you best believe it's disrupting or disturbing the flow of a jump shooter.
Oh, without a doubt. Those closeouts are definitely much more effective when you're 6'5" as opposed to 6'2". So you're 100% right.
Excited to see how the Duke team can continue to improve in the upcoming games, and in particular in this one against Arizona on Friday. We'll get set to continue our conversation with our good pal Brian Horace after we take our first time out here on today's episode of Locked On Blue Devils. Skylight is a proud sponsor of Locked On Blue Devils. Are you missing someone this holiday season and want them to be a part of your festivities from afar? Do they live far away but wish that they could be close to you? Well, we've got the perfect gift for you. It's Skylight Frame, the touchscreen digital photo frame your whole family will love. You can upload thousands of photos with your phone and watch them appear in seconds. Setup takes less than 60 seconds, so it's really no hassle whatsoever. With seamless sharing, you can invite friends and family to easily share photos via the free Skylight mobile app. Add new photos straight from your phone from anywhere. The touchscreen is a game changer, as you could swipe through photos, tap to see the new one sent, tap the heart button to say thank you to the sender, and so much more. And now, as a special limited time offer for our listeners, get $20 off your purchase of a Skylight frame when you go to skylightframe.com/college. That's skylightframe.com/college, skylightframe.com/college. Get $20 off your purchase now at skylightframe.com/college. Proud sponsor of Locked On Blue Devils. Our show is also brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel. These days, you want to get in on the action with America's #1 sports book. Try out FanDuel. New customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get in a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Just go ahead and visit FanDuel.com to join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. That's FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL and a proud sponsor of Locked On Blue Devils. Okay, let's keep rolling. I know I set the world on fire with my hot take that Cooper Flagg means so much to the Duke basketball team and what they want to do. But all joking aside, when you look at Cooper Flagg, you know he's going to be able to bring it night in and night out. This is a guy that's believed to be the number 1 pick in the 2025 draft. He's been on everybody's radar for quite some time. Offensively, he could just do so much, sharing the basketball, attacking the rim, rebounding, a great defender. If there were one critique so far this season, Brian, I think it is the outside shot. And hopefully with more games, more reps, just getting into a flow of the college game, we start to see that outside shot fall, because that has been underwhelming, to be fair, and to kind of be honest in our evaluations of Cooper Flagg. It's kind of in the outside shooting that you want to see step up a bit.
Yeah, without a doubt. And it was never his strength, as a high school player. So I don't expect him to light the world on fire with his outside shooting, but I do expect him to get, a good amount of open looks with the amount of shooters that are on this team that you have to account for. So hopefully, we do see that number tick up a bit.
With this, because I think shooting is going to be so much to this. We've seen it already. I mean, when Duke is playing well this season, over 50% of their shot attempts in the game are coming from three-point land. They're getting a lot of points in the paint too, because oftentimes it's a missed three-pointer. Duke grabs the offensive rebound, and you can easily put it back up and in. So when you're looking at the offensive breakdown for this Duke team, and you see so many three-point shot attempts, so many points in the paint, it's been a good blend so far, and that's why I think it's going to be so hard for many teams this season to kind of defend Duke and what they're trying to do.
Exactly. And also, if Cooper can get that percentage up to, 35, 36, 37%, then defenders have to account for that as well, and that allows him the room to do other things. So,
taking a look at Cooper Flagg so far this season, right now just shooting 22% from three-point range. So certainly something that we want to see continue. Beyond Cooper Flagg, the depth of this Duke team is something that we'll continue to talk about often throughout the course of the season. You look at Duke, they played just 8 players in that game against Kentucky, their only loss on the season. But we saw the debut of Patrick Ngongba II. We see Sion James back when many people believed he might have missed a game even after getting banged up in the Kentucky game alone. It's always, I'm so curious to see what the rotation looks like, how deep this team can go, because I think that's going to be important throughout the rest of the season.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, a lot of people wanted to see, some of those other freshmen in the game against Kentucky. I understand, from a coaching perspective, is you don't want to put guys in a position to fail. And I'm not sure that throwing, 175-pound Isaiah Evans in against some fifth-year seniors at Kentucky was necessarily the right move. I think you want to ramp up that, those things slowly over the season to get them ready, to compete at that level. But I think they're going to go as far as that depth takes them. I mean, obviously they have Gillis and James on the bench. I think Patrick Ngongba is going to be a bigger part of this season than the people realize. I don't think he's going to get a ton of minutes, but I think in spells he's going to do some things that I think Malawach maybe doesn't do. And I think people are going to really like the way he passes the ball. I mean, he's an excellent passer.
Yeah, the front court rotation is something that I think will continue to be a big part of what Duke wants to do. When you look at the back court, those guards and wings and the impact that they can make might just simply come down to, are you making shots from the outside? Which I think if you are to sort of look at where Duke was at in that Kentucky game, going 4 of 22 from three-point range. Let's hope, Brian, that we've already seen the worst shooting game this season for Duke. Like, get that out of the way. Let's hope that that's behind us. And more of these games are ahead where we're making double-digit three-point shots. But I think that's one of the reasons as to why Isaiah Evans and Darren Harris even could warrant a bit of playing time, is maybe it is an off-shooting night for Caleb Foster or Tyrese Proctor. It's not the worst thing in the world to call on either one of those freshmen and Evans and Harris just to see if their shot's falling on that particular day.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I think it's definitely worthy of something that Shire should do. It's the only hard thing is that something that's going to be beneficial to those players necessarily? I think we'll see a lot more of them come ACC season than we do this early part of the season. But I definitely think that if they can figure out a way to get those guys meaningful minutes in a few of those games, I think it bodes very well for how things are going to go in March.
Speaking to these marquee games like the Arizona, Kansas, and Auburns of the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are games that are going to be difficult for Duke to really expand the rotation. I think those games are probably going to be the 8-man rotation that we see, unless by some, miracle Duke is up by 15, 20 points. But I think I'd rather see those guys slowly get, involved in playing rather than just throw them in there into the deep end. I don't think you need to do that.
Well, beyond these games, they've got a couple of more non-conference games against the likes of Incarnate Word and George Mason, Seattle on the schedule. Some of those teams could be a good chance for these Duke guys to get minutes before they get into the big ACC games this season. I will say, speaking to going back to Big Pat's debut in the game against Kentucky, there's moments there, Brian, where all of a sudden at the end of the first half, Cooper and Common have 2 fouls. Malik Brown's having to play out there with 3 fouls. It's an added benefit now that you've got this other big guy in Patrick Ngongba that can come in and make an impact now that he's healthy a little bit to spell you a couple of minutes here and there in the front court.
Exactly, and he has the size that maybe Malik Brown doesn't have. Obviously, Malik Brown is an undersized guy playing the 5, whereas Ngongba comes in and he's already there. He's already your 6'9", 6'10" guy who can, pretty much do anything that any other big can do, and he's much more talented than people realize.
Dude, if his debut is any indicator of what's to come, it feels like his hands are magnets when a missed shot goes up, because his timing and just the tip outs and everything, like some of the things that don't even go down, crediting you with the rebound. He's just got ways to kind of extend possessions. And then slowly, we've heard John Shire even talk about this, what he's able to do offensively with the ball in his hands is only going to get better from here. Probably going to be really limited throughout the large portion of the season, but day by day, game by game, you'll get to see him be more of an offensive factor, which, hey, to have another guy that's 6'11" on the interior that can maybe go get you a bucket, it's not the worst thing.
Not at all. And we're going to need those fouls, especially during the ACC season. Those are going to be necessary.
Well, let's go ahead and we'll take one more time out here on today's episode of Locked On Blue Devils. And on the other side, a bit more on these Arizona Wildcats, what we can expect to see in the matchup. It's going to be a good one on Friday night there at the McHale Center. We're back in just a moment. Our show today is brought to you by our friends over at Prize Picks, the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. All you got to do is pick more or less than on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. You can win up, as we said, to 100x on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. It's the best way to get in on action in sports in over 30 states, including California, Florida, Georgia, and Texas, and so much more. The only real daily money fantasy platform out there with an injury insurance policy so that your lineups stay in play even if one of your players gets injured. If your player leaves in the first half and doesn't return, Prize Picks will keep your lineup live. So incredible. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks will also offer weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts like Taco Tuesday, where each Tuesday Prize Picks selects discounted player projections up to 25% to provide you more value to your lineup. Download the app today and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $50 off instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, download that app today and use code LOCKEDONCollege. You'll get $50 instantly off when you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. Prize Picks is a proud sponsor of Locked On Blue Devils. Okay, you go to Duke basketball to play in the most premier games in the world, and head coach John Shire, looking at the schedule, is not shying away from tough road tests. Duke's got this home-and-home series now with Arizona, where the Wildcats came to Cameron Indoor, and now Duke will go and play at the McHale Center, a place they have not played a game in 34 seasons. You got to go back to Duke's 1991 national championship season, the last time Duke played a true road game there. This is so much fun, man, and venues that you're not used to seeing Duke play. Going to be the underdog in so many ways. Everyone wants to take advantage of the opportunity of playing Duke on their home floor. And once again, in a series that's had some really fun matchups and games over the years, Brian, we get to see Duke and Arizona go at it.
Most definitely. I mean, credit to these coaches now that are scheduling these tough early games. I think, it's good for the game. It's good to grow the game, and it's good to get eyes, especially during the the midst of football season. It's good to get eyes, on these marquee matchups, and it's going to be a tough road. I mean, Tommy Lloyd knows what he's doing over there at Arizona. I think they've scored one game where they were under 93 points, and that was the loss to Wisconsin. So they're going to be a tough team, and obviously the old Duke nemesis, Caleb Love, will be there, and it's time we got a get back game.
Absolutely,
it's about time.
Caleb Love has had our number in these matchups, so hopefully this is the one that kind of can go back in Duke's direction. Not too many wins against that guy, so I want to turn it around. Talking about that Arizona offense in particular, hey, even in their loss to Wisconsin, they're able to score 88 points in that game, right? So, yeah, it didn't hit that 93 mark, but 88, not too shabby. This isn't the 35 points walking through the door that Duke was able to hold Wofford to.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, there's some firepower on that team. Their backcourt is phenomenal. Lloyd's a great coach. They're going to rebound from that game, strong. They're not going to make those same mistakes. But I think Duke has an advantage, again, size-wise. And I think this one ends in our favor, even though it's a tough road game.
Yeah, not to be the one again to kind of state the obvious here, but when you want to play well in March, obviously you've got to take care of business in the regular season. In order to take care of business in the regular season, Duke's going to have to play well in true road games. They're going to have to play well in these games outside of Cameron Indoor. And this is a good opportunity for the young freshmen. They've already had one neutral site game that didn't go in their favor against Kentucky when the game was played there in Atlanta. This is going to be tough because it's one thing for us as fans to enjoy watching these games kind of play out and seeing how raucous and rowdy these environments can be. We're not the ones out there, Brian, trying to knock down some open jump shots and stay in front of our man.
Yeah, with tens of thousands of people screaming at you. It's going to be a tough environment, but I think win or loss, I think this builds the character of a team for March. I mean, losing this game or winning this game isn't going to set us up necessarily for success in March, but playing these games in general, I think really does.
I really liked after the Wofford game, Coach Shire was talking about the 98%, and what he was referring to for his players was, if you look at this basketball game, only 2% of the time that you're out there on the floor are you going to have the basketball in your hands and able to make an impact and kind of make a play. 98% of the time, there are other things that you need to be doing. And it feels like this is one of those games where you need that 98% to show up. Duke's got to take advantage of all of those little things where they're not, having the ball in their hands and trying to make shots.
You're exactly right. And it means free throw box outs, something that plagued them in the Kentucky game. It means communication, especially on the perimeter for Duke. It means getting those rebounds. It means getting on the floor after loose balls. It's all those little things that are going to win you the game.
Yeah,
you've got to win the moment before you win the game.
It talks about, sprinting back on defense, screening, making that extra pass, pick and roll defense, on-ball defense, running the floor constantly, and a reminder for all of the young players that that's something that they've got to do. I'm really curious to see how this one plays out for the young ones in particular because, Cooper Flagg led the way, but this is a game for Con Knippel, once again, to let the world know who he is. Didn't shoot the ball a whole lot against Wofford, was kind of limited in his attempts, was not impressive in the game against Kentucky outside of a couple of plays here and there, but going 5 of 19 from the floor and 1 of 8 from three-point range. Con's a better player than that. Like, this is the type of game where he'll continue to give you the 98%, and now let's see if that other 2% from Con Knippel can show up and making the plays with the ball in his hands.
100%. I mentioned this during the last game. The guy wears his effort. I mean, he's bruised up, his legs showing bruises, and he's doing all the other stuff. If he can knock down those shots against Arizona, this game becomes a lot easier.
Wears his effort. I like the way you put that. That's awesome. That's certainly the best way to describe Con Knippel and what he does. What about the experienced guards and Proctor and Foster? How do you see this one playing out for them?
I think for them, the game has to become more simple. I think, for Tyrese, continue what he's doing. He's been hitting shots at a nice pace this year. And for Foster, I think it's going to come down to knowing the difference between whether to go for a shot or to dump it off. I mean, I think that's something, if you can go all the way back to the days when Shire was playing with Nolan Smith, when Shire had to assume the point guard position after being a shooting guard his entire career. I think Foster's in that position now where he's got to become a point guard. And for Duke, that means sort of walking that line between being a scorer and being a distributor. And I think once he figures that out, the rest is going to come very easy for this basketball team.
And I think he is going to figure it out. I think he's that skilled of a basketball player. So I can't wait to see this one play out, this Duke basketball game in particular against Arizona on Friday night. I know that you're going to be following along, Brian. We've got more marquee games coming up with Kansas right after it, and then Auburn in the ACC and SEC Challenge. And you've got plenty of coverage over there at Duke Blogger. How can people find your work? How can they best support you, my friend?
For sure. The site is, dukeblogger.com. I'm on Twitter at Duke Blogger. I'm on Blue Sky at dukeblogger.com. Drop in, say hello. Let's chat.
Awesome. We'll do just that. Thanks for the time, Brian. We'll do it again soon, okay?
Man, you take care.
All right, that's Brian Horace joining us here on today's episode of Locked On Blue Devils. What a fun conversation that was, and how excited are we for this Duke game coming up against Arizona. Expect Cooper Flagg to lead the way, but the depth of the Duke team to also make an impact in the games to come. That'll do it for today's show. As always, go Duke. I'll talk to you tomorrow. My name is JJ Jackson. Thank you and good day.